you're confused or you feel stuck and lost about finding your purpose. It's such a big one and it's so full of pressure. If you're exhausted from trying to turn your passion into your paycheck, right? This one's for you. In this video, we're going to be releasing the pressure valve on purpose and discussing how sometimes the most meaningful path is not the most obvious one. I'm Danielle Colley and I'm here to help you to get unstuck and to live a life that feels good to live. Let me share a little about my journey with purpose. I started as an actor and then I became an audio producer, then a TV producer, then a journalist, and then a mummy blogger, and finally, journalist, then a life coach. For years, I thought I was flighty. I wasn't able to stick with one thing. But every single one of those failed careers was actually gathering ingredients for what I now feel like I was meant to do. For me, this collecting of experiences that eventually form something meaningful might be purpose, right? But also, like, who even knows, right? What if there is no purpose? Or the purpose is super simple and not attached to this idea of legacy or making a difference in the grand scheme. Would that create a bit of ease inside you if you could just let that pressure go? The myth we need to bust is that purpose is something that you find, like a lost set of keys. Oh, there it is, right? Purpose is something that we sort of create by making one choice at a time. Instead of having a singular purpose, could you maybe live just more intentionally generally, like live on purpose? What about that? Let me tell you about Pamela, right? She's a client of mine and she had what looked like a dream business in Singapore, but she felt trapped. Why? Because she had confused external success with internal purpose. When Pamela finally gave herself permission to define success differently, she realized her purpose wasn't tied to her business. It was about creating a positive impact and doing something that she felt was meaningful, regardless of the vehicle. And then this freed her to make bold changes that aligned with her values. That's very important. So think about your current role through the lens of this like impact ripple, okay? What is the direct impact, the immediate impact of your work, and the indirect impact, the ripple effect beyond your immediate sphere? What's the cultural impact, right? What values and changes do you bring to the environment? The beautiful thing about this framework is that you can find purpose in any role. It's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And then here is something radical, okay? What if purpose isn't something that you need to find, but something you already have? What if instead of asking, what is my purpose, we asked, how am I already creating meaning? It's different, right? Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Big Magic, suggests that your work doesn't have to be your purpose. Sometimes having a job that pays the bills while finding purpose in other areas of your life is perfectly valid and completely necessary. And think about your current role, okay? What you do. How do you already solve meaningful problems, right? How do you help others to grow? How do you challenge the status quo? How do you create positive change? And that's purpose in action. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to be your passion, okay? It doesn't have to like burn you up inside. And now that we've kind of explored that a little bit more, we can redefine success. We can tame perfectionism. We can understand saboteurs and we can set boundaries whilst navigating challenging spaces and finding purpose. And I have one powerful action step for you, and that is to create your success alignment map. On one side, list the traditional metrics of success that you've been pursuing, right? And then on the other side, write what actually brings you fulfillment and meaning. In the middle, identify where these overlap, and that, my friend, that's your sweet spot. This simple exercise begins to align your external achievements with your internal values. And that's the foundation of sustainable success. In the Chocolate Bar Life program, we dive much deeper into implementation strategies for all of this, right? Including the complete saboteur assessments and response protocol, what to do about it, creating your whole life success metrics, and we dive deep on the 7 types of boundaries and how and when to implement them. But this success alignment map, that's a good first step towards mastering your professional Nougat. So that's the end for this series, but I invite you, keep going, dive into the rest of the series here on YouTube. Also go and check out my website, daniellecolley.com.au. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and until we meet again, be a friend to yourself. See ya.